kick off. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining the webinar today. Today's webinar is called Boost Cash Flow and Get Paid Faster, brought to you by ezyCollect. And yeah, let's get cracking. So first things first, we are ezyCollect. Really happy to have you guys join the call today. Just for a little, precursor, what is ezyCollect? We are essentially the complete AR platform that just makes sense. So we're the guys who help you chase late paying customers. And I'm going to hand over to Sean a little bit later, who's going to run through exactly how ezyCollect works and how you can implement it. So just first off, I'll give a quick introduction. My name is Rohit. I am the affiliate network manager at ezyCollect. Just a little bit about me. I actually used to work for PwC. So I was in financial advisory. I was more of an auditor. And I could consistently see clients coming up with late payments as a major problem. And a lot of them actually turned to ezyCollect or used ezyCollect to basically solve that problem. So I started looking into it and I became enamored. I was like, why does this company keep popping up? And so I did some more research. I reached out to the team, spoke to AJ, who's the CEO, and one thing led to another. And here I am today as the affiliate network manager at ezyCollect. Another little fun fact about me, just for a little bit of Rohit trivia, is that I actually used to be a 100-meter sprinter. So I used to run for the University of Sydney, and back then I was just running to win races. Now I am running to get your payments paid faster. And sorry, I know that was a terrible joke, but anyways, I'll hand over to Sean now to give a quick introduction.
No, nothing like a dad joke, Rohit. So look, my name's Sean O'Connell. I'm an account executive at ezyCollect. I was previously at Equifax, which sort of specialise in KYC data information. But I'm now an account executive at ezyCollect, and my role is essentially to consult customers and solve their business problems and challenges with the wide variety of ezyCollect products. In terms of a fun fact, I'm not quite the athlete Rohit is, but I am a big fan of UFC and MMA. So I guess I'm a UFC MMA fanboy. So that's sort of my fun fact.
Awesome. Thanks, Sean. Basically, what he's trying to tell you is just nobody picks a fight with him.
Something like
awesome.
That.
Awesome. So I'll just take you through a quick agenda for what we're going to be covering in this webinar. So the webinar should last for about 45 minutes. It may finish a little bit earlier, but we're going to aim for about 45 minutes. We're going to cover 5 main things. So the first thing we're going to address is the late payments problem. So we're going to do a bit of a deep dive into what that problem is and how it can be affecting your business. After which we're going to talk about AR automation. So we're going to look at what is AR automation and how it can help you get paid faster and obviously boost your cash flow. Then from there, we're going to start looking at ezyCollect. So I'm going to give you a very brief overview of what ezyCollect is. And then Sean is going to actually take you through a hands-on demo of ezyCollect so you can see for yourself how it actually works. And then finally, we're going to end with a quick Q&A just to answer any questions you might have about ezyCollect or about late payments, AR automation, all of that in general. So let's get started. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the late payment problem. So what is late payments? Essentially, it's a situation where you have done work for someone on credit and they're not paying you for the work you've done. You can be in a situation where you've done the work and then 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, even 120 days might pass until eventually, you may finally get paid, or you might just have to write it off as bad debt. Now, this is a horrible problem and it plagues businesses all over the world in every single industry. Nobody wants to have to, deal with chasing late payment. This is money that is owed to you by your customers. It's a problem and a lot of businesses suffer with it. But on the surface level, it might not look that bad, right? You might just think, okay, yeah, someone isn't paying me on time. That's a bit annoying. I might have to chase them up. But there's actually it's actually a lot worse than it sounds. So like I said, on the surface, late payments aren't that bad. But what a lot of people don't realize is that there's this cascading domino effect that late payments can have on your business. So let's talk about this domino effect and let's talk about the implications of late payments on your business. So the first thing I want to look at in terms of these domino effects is poor cash flow. So delayed payments are typically the top cause of poor cash flow for small to mid-sized businesses. A survey in Australia suggests that about 90% of small businesses face cash flow issues and even go broke due to delayed payments. Another study, which was the 2020 MYB Business Monitor, found that 38% of Australian SMEs feel financially stressed as a result of late payments, and 42% are concerned about cash flow. So basically, the first thing that we really see is that delayed payments, or late payments rather, can lead to poor cash flow for your business. The next domino effect I want to go through is higher admin costs. So higher administration costs are, in addition, a business will incur these sort of admin costs linked to debt collection. So, you anyways are spending money on actually building a product and running your company, but now you're having to spend extra money in order to actually get the money that is owed to you. So that can be anything from, doing collection calls or sending out reminder letters, receivable emails, or even getting HR, which is dedicated to chase up those late paying customers. And the real question is, why should you be paying all of these extra costs to get money that is actually owed to you? It's a bit nonsensical, right? And it is a problem that a lot of businesses face. The next sort of domino that we look at as a result of late payments is that it impacts productivity. So a survey of 11 countries, including Australia, found that the process of manually following up on payments is extremely time consuming. And it found that on average, 15 workdays are lost each year in chasing after late payments. That's 3 working weeks every year just spent in chasing money that is owed to you. That is time wasted that could have been used on growing the business or doing something more beneficial to the company. So yeah, late payments definitely impacts the productivity of your firm. Finally, the next thing that I want to look at is that it impacts innovation and growth. And this could probably be one of the bigger problems that comes as a result of late paying customers. So just as a bit of a statistic for you, 7.5% of invoices are written off ultimately as bad debt. That means 7.5% of all the work you've done, you're not going to get paid for. And that's terrible. That's something that no business should have to suffer with. Now, what happens is, with cash getting locked up in delayed payments, the potential working capital gets frozen. This in turn then puts financial brakes on innovation investment. So it basically stops you from being able to invest in doing things which could be, like R&D or anything which is like new products. Also, companies that are affected by poor cash flow, they are unable to invest in expanding into new areas or leveraging new business opportunities. So say you wanted to open up in a new market, or you wanted to, add a new product line to your company. Having poor cash flow can actually stunt that from happening. Also, locked up cash also means that firms are unable to pay their suppliers and staff on time. So, that can actually stop you from, being able to scale, This impacts the inputs necessary for scaling up production. So this is a huge issue with late payments. Having that cash frozen, waiting for it to actually come back from your customers, it can cause working capital to be frozen. You can put the financial brakes on innovation investment. It'll stop you from being able to invest in new areas, and then it makes it harder to scale up. And just as a little example for you, let's just say that there was a 3-day delay in invoices due. That can take away roughly $115,000 from your business, just a 3-day delay. And that's assuming it's, from the working capital of a business with about a $10 million turnover. So that is a huge, huge financial burden as a result of late payments. So basically, we come to the situation where we see this huge domino effect of late payments. It affects you by causing poor cash flow. It affects you by causing higher admin costs. It can impact your firm's productivity, and it impacts innovation and growth. So, like I said in the beginning, we see that late payments on the surface level doesn't seem like that big an issue. But once you go deeper and deeper in, you realize this huge cascading effect that it can have on your business, and how it can drastically be stopping your business from being the best it can be. So let's talk about something else now. Let's talk about the barriers to payment collection. So we know that late payments are bad, obviously. And why don't we just get rid of it? Why don't we just fix it, right? Like, well, it's honestly not that easy. There are things that are stopping you from effectively manually collecting late payments. And the three main ones are time, dedicated staff, and relationship management. So what I mean by time is that, if you're in a company and you have late payers, it's hard to actually find the time available to chase them. You have to do so many different things in running your company. There's operations, there's finance, there's accounting, there's all these different things that you have to work on. Having the time available to actually chase a late paying customer is hard. The next thing is actually having dedicated staff for this. A lot of everyone in a company actually has a job, has a task employed, right? Whether they're in marketing, whether they're in finance, whether they're in operations, whatever it is. So actually finding people who have the time available and are actually in a situation where they can chase up those late paying customers is hard. Most companies do not have dedicated staff just to chase up AR collections. And then finally, relationship management. We all know that asking for money, especially if it's owed to you, is very awkward. If it's from a friend, it's awkward as heck. And if it's from another business or something, it can be very awkward and very, it can feel very weird to do so. And also there becomes that fear that you may lose the customer or you may break that relationship if you start asking them to pay you the money that's owed to you. So these three things are huge barriers to payment collection. That's why manually trying to actually get the money that's owed to you can be really, really tricky. But not all hope is lost. There is a solution to late payments, and this is AR automation. So I'm going to be talking a little bit about AR automation now and how it's going to help you actually eliminate this late payment problem. So let's dig into AR automation. So first off, what is automation? Right? It's a term which is thrown around a lot, but how many of us actually understand what it is? Well, the standard definition is that automation is when we use technology to digitize work to streamline and centralize simple rudimentary tasks. A layman's definition, or probably a better definition, would just be to get technology to do the work we don't want to do. It's when we actually employ technology using software and different services to do the work that we don't have the time or we don't want to do ourselves. So that essentially is what automation is. Now, if we take automation and look at it in a accounts receivables framework, this is what it could look like. So these are the sort of tasks that you might be dealing with in an accounts receivable collection process. So things like sending out pre-reminder emails, sending out email reminders for when the invoice is actually due, SMS reminders, scheduling calls to actually call someone, even doing things like sending out demand letters or even getting debt collectors involved. All of these rudimentary simple tasks take up time and take up effort from your staff to do manually. So why not employ technology and get technology to do all these tasks automatically for you? So at ezyCollect, we like to believe that we get the technology to chase your late paying customers for you. That's why we have our technology here with the little legs running after those late payments and catching them for you. And we have some statistics as well, just to talk about how AR automation has helped some of our clients. We found that about 75% of firms reported that AR automation enabled them to offer superior customer experiences. We also found that 87% of businesses that employed AR automation observed improvements in their overall payment process speeds, and that 79% of automation adopters agree that it improves team efficiency. We also found that 89% of firms experience faster processes across the board when they use AR automation. So those are some pretty good results right there. And ultimately, it leads to this one major result, which is that businesses that use AR technologies experience a 23% improvement in payment collections compared to firms that use manual methods. So that 23% jump is going to help you eliminate all those late payment problems we discussed before. It's going to help you with the poor cash flow. It's going to help you with timing and time management. And it's going to help you basically spend your money in innovation and growth instead of chasing late paying customers. So that in a nutshell is what is the late payment problem and how AR automation can help you solve that late payments problem. Now we're going to take a little bit of a dive into ezyCollect. So I'm going to first just give you a very brief overview before handing over to Sean, who's going to then give you a very, very in detail demonstration of how ezyCollect works. So first things first, what is ezyCollect? We are essentially an end-to-end accounts receivable management software. We come in at the beginning of the whole AR process, so we can help you with things like customer risk insights and trends, or credit reporting and monitoring, all of that sort of stuff. And then once the customer is actually on board and you've actually provided work for them, and then they start to owe you money, that's when ezyCollect will kick in again and help you with the collection. So it'll automate that accounts receivables process for you. There's even payment platforms attached to it. You can even escalate things to debt collection and legal. And then eventually you could actually use the data from your AR to actually forecast and get reports. Now, ezyCollect is built up in four core modules. The first one is our credit insights. So this again comes in right at the beginning. And this basically helps you effectively manage risk with data-driven credit reporting and monitoring. So that allows you to actually see what is the likelihood of people being late paying customers. And then you even have a credit application feature, which basically allows you to make better credit decisions with an online credit application and give you a risk assessment solution. So these two stages come in at the beginning when you're onboarding new customers. Then our AR automation, which is our third module, that kicks in. And that basically just allows you to streamline your accounts receivables collection with an all-in-one platform. Like I explained before, it basically targets all those key steps which go into chasing late paying customers, and it automates it across the board. So everything from sending reminder emails to follow-up calls to sending out demand letters, all of that can be customized and tailored and then automated using the AR automation feature of ezyCollect. And then finally, we actually have our Simply Paid payment platform. So that basically allows you to get paid faster with an online B2B payment integration on your invoices, emails, and SMSs. So essentially, not only are we automating the AR process for you, but we're also helping you get paid faster and get your customers to pay you more easily using Simply Paid, which is our payment portal. And some of our integrations, these are some of the accounting softwares we integrate with. So obviously MYN0, the big ones, we definitely work with them. And then we work with a ton of other ones across the board, such as NetSuite or J-Curve. And finally, these are some of our clients. So these are some of our bigger clients, such as like Bingo Bins, Chart Time, and some more. So that's just a bit of social proof for you, just so you can see some of our clients who we currently work and who are currently using ezyCollect to chase their late paying customers. And that is it. So I'm going to stop talking right now. I'm pretty sure you're sick of my voice by now. And I'm going to hand over to Sean to give you a live demonstration of ezyCollect. So I'm just going to stop sharing my screen and hand over to Sean now.
Thanks so much, Rohit. That was very, very comprehensive. Let me share my screen with you, and I'll run you through the actual platform. Okay. Can you see my screen, Rohit?
Yep, it's coming through perfectly.
Great. So look, as Rohit highlighted, ezyCollect really is an end-to-end solution. So to begin, it begins at the credit application phase. So instead of customers having to manually print off a PDF and sign it, they can complete an online credit application. So it can be built or integrated into your website, which looks, really professional, or you can just share the link. So for the purpose of this, I'm going to share a link with a customer. So this just automates the application process for you. So customers would click in, they can view terms and conditions and the privacy policy. Now, when I click in, I have to put in, there's mandatory fields as per the star. And and then I begin filling in the details. So obviously my ABN, ACN, number of employees, business name, and you can't proceed until certain fields are completed, just to ensure the information is up to date, quality data. So instead of running through all these individually, you can sort of see the workflow here. So contact information, address information, director details, you can add multiple directors, multiple trade references as well. If you need to collect driver's license details, they can upload that as well. And then they can hit confirm. So they need to agree to your terms and conditions by ticking a box, and they put their name and position on the document as well. So what's the benefit of this? It's a seamless process for your customers. It's user friendly, and allows you to onboard them at a faster rate. So once they agree to the terms and conditions, you receive a copy of the application as well as the customer. So obviously this would be your logo, your details instead of ezyCollect. So you can double check everything, make sure it's all good. They've agreed to the terms and conditions. And then at the bottom, there's the name and position as well, who's executed the document. So once they've done that, you receive a notification that the document is pending. So it automatically runs a score for you. So we've got the late payment risk score, which is essentially how they pay the market. And the failure risk score looks at the directors and the business. So based on this score, if everything was minimal, great, let's approve the account, there's low risk there. If it's average, that's auto report and have a look at sort of what's weighing the score down. And if it's in this red section, severe, maybe we'll do cash on delivery, or we'll reject the account because it's too high risk. So we received this data from Ilion, formerly known as Dun & Bradstreet. And they're one of the largest commercial bureaus in Australia. So again, you can order a report through here, you can double check the driver's license, you can check the reference details. And then if you're happy with everything, you can essentially approve the application. So I can put in the amount they're applying for, we'll say 30 days, and any additional notes. And you simply hit approve, and it sends the customer an email notifying them that their account's been set up. So this just adds consistency to the process and allows you to onboard customers more quickly. It also has the credit score there and report. So, you want to make sure you're onboarding the correct customers. Now move through to, once you onboard customers, it's important to monitor them as well. So this does that through this platform. So essentially it monitors and ranks your customers based on how they're paying the market. Now, this is really important, especially in COVID and such a versatile market. Things can change in 6 months' time. So ideally, you want all your customers in the green, which means they're paying everyone on time. It will have all your customers in here and the certain amounts. Also has a little definition of what the category is, and then you can export a list as well. Now, if a customer starts paying everyone late, perhaps there's a default added against the business, maybe a strike off, then they move down to this red section. So this just allows you to prioritize your customers on a daily basis. Now, I'll proceed through to, one sec. So this is more from an AR point of view. So this gives you an overview of how your debtors are going. It has what's been invoiced, what's overdue, how many customers are in here, types of communication that have been sent. And then depending on your terms, this will display as is. So ideally you want your customers in this sort of green to blue section. If you have high bad debt, you'll get more in this red section. So ezyCollect, a key thing to note is that we have API integrations with certain accounting platforms, such as Xero, NetSuite, and MYOB. So you don't have to upload any customer information. It's all automatically pulled through via the API. So all the invoices and statements will be pulled through, and it's synced several times a day to ensure the information's up to date. So as it gives you a bird's eye view, it also categorizes things for you. So we've got oldest overdue, I can click in and view, largest overdue. You can exclude or pause customers. So if you don't want certain customers receiving reminders or calls, you can take them out of that workflow. Additionally, you can escalate it to a collection agency. So we use a third-party agency, Armor Collections. So essentially, instead of sending an email and attaching the invoices and the statements and all the notes, you just click a button and it sends everything through to the agency to then begin collections. So it's all about automating the process and making it as seamless as possible. I'll move on to the communications workflow. So this is where our customers receive the most value generally, depending on their circumstances. But this streamlines and automates the AR process for them. So before the invoice is actually due, a pre-reminder is sent notifying the customer. So this will have all the invoices and statements attached. The key thing to note, all the reminders will come from an email of your choice. So it's coming from your accounts or your personal email to again add a personalized touch. Additionally, we consolidate all of the invoices. So if there's a customer of 5 invoices, all the invoices will be attached. This just makes it easier for the customer to understand what needs to be paid. And then this workflow is customizable by you. So you can select the type of communication, whether you want it to be an email reminder or perhaps a call or even an SMS. And then you choose the frequency as well. So, collections is all about persistent, polite follow-ups, essentially politely nagging the customer until they make payment towards you. So having a more consistent automated process like ezyCollect in place will result in improving cash flow and more customers making payment towards you. Ideally, if they make a payment, it sends them a thank you message as well. Now, one of the key value adds is that on each email with all the invoices and statements attached, there's a pay now button. So if you're having troubles allocating payments back into your accounting software, you can direct all of your customers through to this pay now button. Now, if I click in, the emails are customizable as well, so they can view how you want. It has your logo, your bank details, and so forth. If I click through the Pay Now button, I am taken to SimplyPay, which is a 24/7 payment portal. So customers can make payments, before, during, or after work. There's some flexibility in here as well, so they can decide which invoice they want to pay. Perhaps they're disputing one, but they're happy to pay another. And then I can view and download invoices. I can also put in the amount that I want to pay as well. Now, in terms of payment options, there's a direct transfer option, buy now, pay later with a commercial lender, and they can pay via credit card. So if a customer, for example, pays via credit card, the merchant fee and transaction fee is displayed. So this is a fee that's onset to your clients. Additionally, it can be split 50-50, or you can wear the costs if you would like. Now, once a payment's made, you receive the receipt as well as the customer. A remittance report is sent out at the end of the day of all the payments made, and this will automatically write back into your accounting software. So if you have any pain allocating payments, this will solve that for you. And the fact that it's 24/7, customers can make the payment whenever they want. So these are for all one-off payments, but we also have a new product called Collect Now, Auto Collect, which essentially schedules the payments, and it's a direct debit facility. So customers input their details and then schedule the payments throughout the month. I'll show you that shortly. So just proceeding back. As you can schedule in calls, sorry for the pop-ups, there's a task tab. So if I click in, It's still important to build relationships with customers. You can't just send auto reminders. You want to send SMSs, the reminders with a personalized touch. You also need to continue to call customers and build relationships with them. So instead of working off a spreadsheet and downloading notes and completing them on the notes section, this is an online form, an online variation. So all your customers will be located in here to send you a reminder of which customers need to be called. So I can click in. Everything, it's very easy to interpret. I can see what previous communication's been sent. All the statements are in here. All the invoices. I can double check everything. It's all in a nice centralized location, as well as the contact information. You can include risk level scores as well. You can send direct debit forms through here as well. So there's a lot of features you can utilize to your advantage. Additionally, you can call and accept payment over the phone. This will just take you back to Simply Paid, which again writes back into your accounting software. And then there's some other features you can utilize. So you can send emails from here. You can forward it through to a debt collector. You can log call notes, which can write back into your accounting software. It's good if you need to update salespeople with certain notes. Additionally, you can order reports, and you can also pause and exclude customers. So again, everything's in a nice centralized location, and it's super easy to use. You can call and accept payment over the phone. It's a really useful really useful feature for AR team reps. Moving on to the customer section. You can also filter through your data and export lists into PDF or Excel. So you can filter through based on balance owed, total days overdue, what follow-up stage they're at, whether they have a direct debit form or not. So there's some flexibility there. And additionally, you can tick all of your customers and you can send them out a request authority. So this captures their details, their banking details or card details. And then you schedule the payments throughout the month. So obviously the main benefit of that is that customers don't need to, you don't need to remind them to pay you through reminders. They just do it through a direct debit facility. So look, just to sort of reiterate, ezyCollect, our central aim is to improve efficiency, cash flow, and the decision-making abilities of businesses. So the platform gives account receivable teams the ability to recover cash more quickly, thereby freeing up valuable time for other priorities. So look, if anyone is interested in learning more about the platform, please reach out to Rohit and myself, and we can organize a one-on-one consultation. I'll hand back to Rohit to sort of take it from here. I think we're going to run through some questions now, are we?
Yep, that's exactly right, Sean. Thanks again for going through that whole demo. That was super comprehensive. Right. Let me just share my screen. It should be sharing now. Right. So thanks again, Sean, for doing that, for going through that demo. I think really highlights how valuable ezyCollect can be. And as Sean mentioned before, we could always take a closer look. So if you see something that, if ezyCollect does look interesting to you, and it is something that you think can help your business out, you can always book in a one-on-one consultation, which will be quite similar to this in the sense it'll be a video chat with us, and Sean will then basically tailor ezyCollect to suit your specifications, and then we can go into further details, things like pricing and things like how it can actually integrate with your software and how it can be customized for your needs and wants. So if you're interested in ezyCollect and you think it's something that can benefit your business, please book in a one-on-one consultation with us, and we will look into it in more detail. And now we get to the fun part, the end of the presentation. We're going to take some questions and answers right now. So if you do have any questions, quickly pop them into that chat box, the question box, and we can address them live. So I'm just going to see if any questions are up. Okay. All right. So the first question, this one I think is for Sean, and I'll just press answer live. Okay. So the question is, do you have any contracts or cancellation fees?
It depends on whether you sign for a month to month or an annual plan. Obviously, a month to month, you would just pay for the final month. If it's an annual contract, you're generally paying up front. So you'd want to finish the 12 months to receive the full value. So it depends on what sort of agreement you've signed.
Awesome. Thanks, Sean. The next question we have is your platform safe? Meaning, is my data safe?
Yeah, of course. So data security is a top priority at ezyCollect. Our services are hosted in a world-class cloud service provider, Amazon Web Services, which is protected 24 hours a day. So all your data will be encrypted, and rest assured that the database is secure.
Fantastic. And I think that's all the questions that we have. If you have any more questions, feel free to email us, and we can always respond to that, or you can always just give us a call. And yeah, that's everything for this presentation. So thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, and thank you, Sean, as well, for joining the call today to learn a little bit about late payments, AR collections, AR automation, and how ezyCollect can help you boost your cash flow and get paid faster.
Yeah, thank you, Rohit. Thanks everyone who organised it. And really appreciate your time today. If you have any questions, please reach out to me individually or Rohit.
Amazing. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, guys. Have a lovely day.